What do you got?
It'd be funny to answer.
Yeah, Cavs calling?
FaceTime.
Wait, whoa.
Should I?
Incoming.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, you should.
Put it by the microphone.
Are you kidding
like you
me?
did last time.
All right, just so you know, you're on the show. You're on the show right now, live. So,
Hey, Don.
are you good?
I'm fine, yeah.
Hey, everybody. This is the MOOC podcast talking about stage one. Of course, like it is each and every day this year. Every stage brought to you by Ketone IQ. Been a complete game changer in the Peloton. And as we said yesterday, the boys are going to jump into the fire, and it happened. I love days like this where our job is just easy. Like you're watching this like, wow, what do we not talk about? Tons of action. As we do every year and has been for many, many years, we have our good friend Alain, not here, but he's going to come on, and we struggle with how to pronounce these little towns where they start and finish. I'm wondering if he's going to struggle as a Frenchman pronouncing an Italian start and finish. But Alain, where do we go and end?
Stage 1 is from Florence to Rimini. From Florence to Rimini.
It just never gets old. It just doesn't.
I think he's been doing that since year 2.
That's amazing.
I'll have to go look that up.
Little bit of business. Today's show brought to you by Zwift. Zwift just released the Zwift Ride, an all-new smart bike that is changing the indoor game and making it easier and more affordable than ever before to get started riding indoors. When I walked in the studio the other day, I saw this. I was shocked. I walked in, I saw the bike set up right here, right around the corner, and I was blown away.
That thing is sleek looking.
I said, "Oh,
that baby needs to come home to my home gym."
Yeah. I said, I might be an indoor kitty when this is all said and done. Cut my claws, stay inside, ride the new Zwift Ride.
It's got the shifters built in, the controls on the handlebars.
I'm telling you, it's insane. This adjustability that we all just discussed makes the Zwift Ride perfect for anyone in the house to use. And at $1299.99, it is a game changer. So head on over to Zwift.com now to check it out. That's Zwift.com, and it is the Zwift Ride. Also today brought to you by Element. Folks, you hear me talk about it all the time, that time of year, and what a perfect day to talk about Element. And we're going to talk about this later in the show because it's a great question. When the guys are out there, it's that hot, it's that intense. The stage is on the longer side. How do you rehydrate, right? I know what I go to. I go to Element. It's straight up. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium, no sugar, no gluten, no artificial ingredients, no BS. And best of all, if you don't like it, you can give it to a friend, and Element will refund you. Get your free 8-count sample pack with any LMNT Element purchase at drinklmnt.com/themove. And be sure to try the new Element Sparkling, which we have a can of right here. I've tried, and when this showed up in my house, I was like, damn, this is crazy. Now, what I love here is the tagline, welcome to the next chapter in the salty rebellion. I mean, who makes this shit up?
I agree.
That is unbelievable.
That's become the game changer for us at the house, especially now that it's getting so hot. The whole family drinks it. Love it.
Awesome. Also today brought to you by Roka. I can't go anywhere without them, right? I can't walk around anywhere with the sun out without my sunnies on. Titanium aviators. George still wearing. The entire day he wore his new.
Always. I'll wear them the whole show if you want.
I mean, it's your birthday.
By the way, I had to carry
we
around.
didn't mention that. It is George's birthday. Happy birthday, George.
Oh, thank you.
So you know what? It's your birthday. Put them on. If you want to wear them all.
I get a free day of ass from Lance. Y'all want anything? Hit me up. I'll ask him. I'll make it happen. Today, we got not that much time left in the day, but I got a free day, free pass.
Here's what's scary is it almost sounded like you said you get a free day of ass from Lance. That
man, your head.
I love you.
I know you didn't get enough sleep last night. I know I didn't get enough sleep.
I love you more than I can love a man. You are never getting a free day of ass. I promise you.
Well, seeing as I was on the plane with you for like 6 hours yesterday, I got plenty of that coming from you, and I'm still kind of recovering from that.
And to our friends at Roka, I am so sorry that the birthday boy got off tangent here. I mean, this is embarrassing. But they have changed the game. They do have the best optics. They have the no slip. I don't care how hard you're working out, how hard you're sweating. They do not slip off your face. I get tons of questions about my readers. It's funny going around and you're like, with somebody our age that just, I don't have my readers. I can't. And I always have my Roka readers. And I hand them to them, and they put them on. They're like, whoa, what are these? I'm like, baby, those are Roka. They're from Austin. Got to trust them. The Move listeners get 20% off. Just go to Roka. That's ROKA.com, Roka.com. Enter the code THEMOVE at checkout. And for today and today only, you get a free day of ass from George.
Asks.
Well, that's not what that JB. How did you hear?
Yeah, we'll pull that clip and dig a little deeper after
we
the
need to
show. Pass it around and maybe do a poll.
We're gonna have to go back to instant replay on that one. Look, Romain Bardet. I love this story. He's been around this peloton for a long time. There is or has been talks that this is his last tour. He's on a Dutch team. He was for many, many years. He was the great French hope. You'll remember this. He finished second in the Tour de France. By the way, today was his 4th stage win in the Tour. But for so many years, he was the one that the French public, the French media were like, this is our guy. This is the guy who could potentially win the Tour de France. And it never happened. To see him have the career he's had, find his way to it's not a small Dutch team. It's a medium-sized Dutch team, and to hit his stride like I was. And by the way, he's with his teammate. This team I'm referencing got first and second in the opening stage of the Tour de France, which was hella hard.
Which was destroying people.
Yeah, which we're going to cover a bunch of. But back to Romain Bardet. Yes, as you said, Lance. Great French hope. Sorry, speaks perfect English. Super smart kid. Probably too much pressure being on a French team. Podium of the Tour de France. Goes to, let's be frank here. Probably one of the smallest budget teams in the Tour de France. That is well known for hiring super young talent that are very, very good. Not having to pay them that much money. Sign them for 3 to 5 year deals. Getting the most they can out of these young guys. Not having to pay them much. Like I said. They go get Romain Bardet, who's essentially a veteran of the peloton, goes there, probably a lot less pressure. And look what's happening. Liège-Bastogne-Liège almost wins that. Now wins the first stage of the Tour de France in an epic fashion, bridges up to their breakaway. I mean,
holds off the peloton.
Holds off the peloton. A hard charging peloton that was chasing full gas to chase him, to catch him with plenty of teams on the front. I mean, that was an unbelievable victory. Would not have happened if it was 2 guys from 2 different teams. Absolutely not, because one of them would have been holding back the last 10K to try to go for the win. These guys were all in. The radio, which we heard a bit on the stage, which was awesome to listen to, telling them let's go all in. And they probably knew who was going to win if they made it. But just as a fan of the sport, that's awesome. About as exciting as it can be. First stage of the Tour de France, amazing. 3
fun facts, right? Number one, he's with his teammate Frank Vandenbroek, who, of course, we raced with the original Frank Vandenbroek for many, many years, who tragically lost his life, which we will not get into. He was this kid had more talent in his toe than most of the peloton had in their entire body. He was a beast. So it's cool to see that name pop back up. Number one,
no relation.
No relation. Well, I don't know. That's probably a Johan question. Okay. I don't know. Fun fact number 2, DSM is actually very active. I spend most of my days investing in the health space. DSM super active. We're actually co-investors with DSM, the corporation, their venture arm, in a couple of deals. So cool.
Damn, you're just going to drop that even before our production meeting?
Well, the way it works is you keep some of this stuff back.
All right. Okay.
And fun fact number 3 is Romain Bardet obviously won the stage. Takes the yellow jersey. If any of you nerds out there look at this shit like I do, because I'm a numbers guy. George isn't. What number do you have on his back? He had number 181. When was the last time somebody won the first stage of the Tour de France wearing the number 181?
El Jefe right here. El Jefe right here.
It's yours truly, and that was 25 years ago in 1999 in the prologue. So, but I look every year.
Funny part of that story too is that you didn't remember Liz and I being there in 1999, which kind of messed up, I thought. But anyway, it's good that you remembered yourself being there.
Happy birthday, happy birthday! But every year I look, who's wearing number? It's just a special number. I need to do something with that number. It's which means, and most people don't know this, but if you win the Tour de France. We're going down a rabbit hole here, but if you win the Tour and you come back the next year, you wear number 1. If you get second in the Tour de France, you wear number 11. Your third, you wear 21, except down the line, which means 1999, that U.S. Postal team our numbers started with 181, which means the year before it did not go very well.
We were the bad news bears.
They were
year
the bad
before.
news bears. And so we had this big number, and the number was 181. It's been 25 years. And for that, and for all of this, and for what we saw today, I don't think it's too early to do this or call it. I think Romain Bardet gets the boomstick. Can we all agree?
absolutely. Wow.
Romain
Boomstick.
Bardet, the boomstick? 100%. 100% boomstick. What a story. What a story.
And he can potentially hold on to it for a couple of days. I mean,
Yes.
they're about to go into France in a couple of days. Obviously, he's going to have a ton of motivation, ton of confidence. The team had, I mean, at the end, you saw them all hugging it out. They still had four or five guys still in that group of 30, 40 guys, which, that was not an easy selection to make. So the team is very strong, and they're going to go all in to keep that jersey as long as they can.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you guys can elaborate on it. For a team like this, tour made, it's nothing but happiness through the end. Like,
Oh, they can
it's
go
huge.
see in the douches, go home today and be like, thank you very much.
No, I mean, and again, they got first and second.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're, this wasn't a lucky first and second. This was, I mean, they earned it.
Yeah.
Right? This was, I mean, he bridged across. Vandenberg was already there. Like nobody got lucky here. They straight up won the stage and got first and second. Like that was, so yes, their tour, I don't know what else they want to do or have planned. They don't need to plan any that they don't need to expect anything else. And again, for a Frenchman, you imagine 10 years from now, 20 years from now, he's going to walk around wherever he's walking, right? His little village, going to snagging a baguette or crepe or whatever he does.
You're not going to pay for nothing.
He's a 4-time winner of a stage in the Tour de France. There's not a lot of Frenchmen who can say that.
Yeah.
And by the way, I have it written down just so we can put this in context from a timeline perspective. First stage win 2015. He wins 3 in a row, 15, 16, 17. He wins a stage in each tour. And then the break, 7-year break, 2024. Those are those years where he was in limbo. Like I'm sure he was like, he goes to a smallish Dutch team because he's sick of the pressure from the country of France and the press saying, you're our great hope. And he has this 7-year break and boom.
Yeah.
And again, to repeat what might be his last tour, there's nothing bad about this story.
Yeah, I'm looking at this too, like how close he's been so many times. I mean, the stage wins obviously are huge, but second in Liège, second in Dauphiné, second in World Championships, second in GC in the Tour before. Like, just knocking on the door for a long time.
Yeah, I said this to you earlier. Anytime you see somebody that's won a lot of races, or at least won a lot of important races, which he has, if you've won 4 stages in the Tour, you've won a lot of important races. Anytime you see somebody that's won those races, you can scroll down their results. They're going to be second a lot too. That means you're there, right? Mm-hmm. You're there. You're at the front of the race. You're part of the conversation. And we can't go back and look at all the times he got second, but you could probably imagine that a lot of those he was close to getting first. So you want people, and look, nobody gets, 10 big wins in their life and has a whole lot of, 132nd places, right? They get second and third and fourth a lot because they're part of the conversation.
Yeah, and it's part of the journey too. I mean, someone like him who's gone so long without winning a stage of the Tour de France, get some confidence back this year and just doing that sort of Babe Ruth move with 50K to go from the peloton. Just incredibly impressive to watch and fun to watch.
Well, part of that peloton too was the biggest question mark we had yesterday, who was Jonas Vingegaard.
Yep.
Right. I mean,
We didn't get much of a look at him today, other than that mechanical that he had to deal with.
I was looking at him.
What was it? 40 guys left. I'm guessing
40 guys left. They went to the front. Arguably could have been to do their own pace, but if UAE was that confident, that good, they would have gone past them and gone harder. But I mean, these guys were controlling the race, which super fun and exciting to watch. We had, like you said, Lance, a huge question yesterday in the previous show, whether or not they would show up ready to go. And after today, they look more than ready to go.
Yeah.
Wout van Aert said he's never started the Tour de France in this bad of form, and we almost won the stage today, got 3rd place. The whole team is pulling for him. Matteo Jorgenson, I didn't love seeing him pulling with 10K to go. I wish they would have held him back a bit, but they just want to win stages. And they have such a good unity amongst that team that they're going to go all in for stage wins right now. And
Elaborate on that. a Jorgenson thing, like holding him back. Why?
We know he's in incredible shape right now. He got second in the Dauphiné. He's confident. I've spoken to him before the Tour de France. Says he's feeling really, really good. But you just don't want to see him going on a day like today. It was such a hot day, hard day, first stage of the Tour de France. Why burn his matches so early? Now he'll recover. He's young. He's happy to help the team. But me personally, I didn't love seeing him pulling.
Well, if it was this tough of a day that you guys were cringing all morning and Jonas survived, that's a good indication.
It's a great indication. Great. I mean, it's, I think if I were him, I would, you would have to imagine that you have to hope you can stay close. And in order to stay close, as we discussed yesterday, he's really got to get through stage, 14? Well, he's got to get through 4. But, if you get to 14, so there's 2 checkpoints to get to stage 14. Checkpoint 1 was today. Checkpoint 2 is on stage 4. If he gets through those and starts to ride into this thing, I don't know. I'm just gonna sit back and watch because it'll be fun.
He got a flat tire today, and it came back very easy into the bunch where guys are getting dropped. I mean, I spoke to Tom Skujins today, who also made the first group. Like I said, a very tough group to make. Said guys were getting dropped at like 300 watts going up some of the climbs, which Lance and I can do 300 watts all day long, but it's so hot right now.
Why don't you speak for yourself?
And a lot of people can do 300 watts. It's not a pro level.
It shouldn't have been
That's not pro level watts. We're seeing good guys getting dropped at 300 watts on some of these climbs because of the heat and the stress leading up to the Tour de France. I mean, he said, thankfully he was able to cool his body temperature down. I don't know how he did it, but he felt good in today's stage. But he said he was just watching guys getting popped, and he's like, we're actually not going that hard.
Right. Well, it's pretty well known in exercise physiology for you kids out there. Another little PSA from THEMOVE that heat is the #1 determining factor for performance, no matter what. You can factor in all of these other things. Heat is the #1 thing to diminish performance, as exhibited by what you just told us.
Yep, Jorgenson lost 3 kilos today, which is almost 7 pounds. So I mean,
and drinking a ton.
And drinking a ton. I mean,
you can't drink. You cannot drink anymore.
No.
Yeah. Well, but I understand we have a question about hydration and rehydrate. I mean, I think there's really 2 parts to the question, right? I mean, we'll get to it at the end. But there's just to tease it out.
We'll
there's
come
a
back
question
to
about hydration, but to me, there's almost like a follow-on question about rehydration because you cannot drink enough in the race. Clearly, if Jorgenson lost 3 kilos, 7 pounds, it's not like he's not drinking. He's drinking a ton. You just can't. You can't drink enough. So we'll get to that later. It might be a little, just tease it out. My answer, my view on this is going to be a little spicy. All right. Might get me in trouble. No, I can't get in trouble anymore. So, but you might, I have a strong view on this, but we'll get to that. Other big headline, Mark Cavendish, right? We talked a lot about him yesterday. When I woke up this morning, George and I, believe it or not, we were crazy enough to fly to Los Angeles last night for our friend's birthday party. Casey Wasserman turned 50. I thought there was going to be like 100 people. There was 1,000 people there. I was like, hey, Casey, happy birthday. George and I turned around and flew back to Aspen. So we got home at 2. But when I finally stumbled out of bed at 7, which is not a lot of sleep for me.
I was already up working.
George was already up.
Made the coffee.
He said, Cav is off the back and throwing up. Yeah. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah. I mean,
we look like fools. Like what? I didn't know what that meant.
My birthday was ruined in that moment because I was I think the whole world watching the stage today was, I woke up, I had 10 texts going, what's going on with Cav? I mean, it was a scary moment. So happy he made it through. And
well, that being their sole objective, the whole team was with him. They surrounded him. Yes, he was throwing up on the bike and recovered and made the cut. Right. So, but then it's going to lead to how's he going to feel going into tomorrow? If you're that dehydrated that you're vomiting and
that's what
tomorrow's
does.
Not easy.
And in French they say the première chaleur. I know I butchered that. We need Alain. Alain, how do you say première chaleur? It's the first hot day of the year. Think about this. It feels like yesterday where guys were having to get carried off of their bikes and put into cars at Flèche Wallonne because it was so cold. It wasn't that long ago. They have not had, and I said it yesterday, this is early for Europe to have temperatures in the mid-90s. This is the first time they've had to do anything, much less a hard stage like this, in heat like that.
Well, and as somebody who travels between Austin and Aspen, dropping yourself in the heat.
No.
In the midsummer, it's brutal.
It is, JB, it's exactly the same thing. It would be like riding around here every day in 75 degrees and somebody saying, well, we're going to go to Austin tomorrow and ride, and we're going to do a demanding, by the way, 12,000 vertical feet of climbing, 47 total kilometers of climbing, and it's going to be 95. The body just says, what are you doing to me?
And a fairly large breakaway from early on in the race, which indicates how high the speed was and how difficult it was from the start. So tack that on to the nervousness of starting the Tour de France. A lot of guys just can't handle it. Doesn't matter how fit you are. That heat just runs you over like a dump truck.
You know, we talk a lot about the sport now and how it's gotten, as some would say, kind of robotic and predictable. And I'll give a shout out to ASO. Not that they could have predicted or fabricated this heat, but this was if you want to throw a wrench in the plans, you throw this stage into them on stage one. We never would have seen anything like this. And this is again, hats off to them. They didn't know it was gonna be this hot, but even if it wasn't this hot, it would have been a dynamic day. This is a way to say, let's mix this up. Let's try to figure out another way to make it exciting. And
delivered. This is the absolute ideal scenario for ASO in terms of excitement for the race, for all of us, for fans. I mean, we were all wondering if Jonas was going to struggle on a day like today. Not only did he not struggle, and he looked like he was fingers in the nose for the most part. The whole team, for that matter, looked really good. Just setting up for what I think is going to be a great tour.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah.
We do have a few emails we're going to get to, but we did get.
Let me do these first.
All right. Take care of that, because we've got our buddy Joe Natoli. Year after year hits us with these amazing graphics.
Today's show also brought to you by Ketone IQ. As I mentioned, they are the title and presenting sponsor for the entire 3 weeks. But if you didn't know this, and if you didn't ever think about it, you probably, or maybe you have. And the fact is that fasting and exercise are actually good for the brain, right? And what's not good for the brain is lack of sleep, which is what I'm dealing with right now. So you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna have a little ketone. And this is legit. I'm off today. I just don't feel this. I'll tell you if this brings me around.
I just did one before the show.
Yeah, I could tell you did one. Anyhow, wow. I feel it right there. That just delivered clean fuel that can cross my blood-brain barrier. I'm coming around. It's no joke. Every day, y'all, if you follow my socials, I don't know. I'm on this health kick. I've decided I'm 52 years old. And if I could say that I'm halfway through life, I'd like to think that. I'd like to say that. So, but I don't start any day. I don't start any serious workout without Ketone IQ. I just don't.
Wait, let that soak in with everyone listening for a second. We're only halfway done with Lance.
We got another 50 years on this show.
There's a handful of you people out there that had the shovels ready. Well, guess what?
He's back.
You're only halfway done with me. But and I'm having fun, so that's what's most important for me. They also have a partnership with Visma Lisa Bike, which is gonna, I guess. By the way, Wout van Aert.
Yeah.
Romain Bardet and Frank Vandenbroek, hell of a stage. If they get caught, Wout van Aert wins the stage. What a story that would have been.
Yeah.
He was jamming those ketones.
He was, yeah. They're clearly happy with today's
Special
stage.
offer for our listeners, 30% off your first subscription order, plus a free 6-pack when you use the link ketone.com/themove. Also today brought to you by Ekoi, new sponsor of ours. If you also, not to keep harping on my socials, but if you see lately, I've been rocking a new helmet. When I was over in France a couple of weeks ago, met with the founder and CEO of Ekoi, gave me this new helmet. I was like, okay, this works. Like, I'm a helmet snob. I'm 100% sure that a bunch of imbeciles hijacked every helmet design studio in the world. I don't know what's happened. And I saw this helmet, and it's called the Gara, is what I've been wearing. And I was like, that helmet's dope. I will wear that helmet. I put it on, and it was unbelievably comfortable. And I have a weird head, big fat head. But this thing just fit, and it looks so cool, I think. You saw, I know you saw it
that's a good
yesterday.
looking
You saw
helmet.
the back of the helmet a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
They are truly one of the few brands that develops its products in close collaboration with professional athletes across all these disciplines: road cycling, triathlon, gravel, mountain bike. Ecoy is also the most represented brand in this year's Tour de France, with 4 teams wearing their products: Israel Premier Tech, Lotto Destiny, Arkea B&B Hotels, and Team Cofidis. So why choose an Ecoy helmet or shoes? First and most importantly, if you ride a lot, Ecoy products offer unbelievable value for the money. Also, direct to consumer, which is interesting, right? So don't be running down to your local bike shop. Well, you should run down to Mellow Johnny's, but exclusively available online at Ecoy. That's EKOI, Ecoy.com. The entire Ecoy website is currently on sale until the end of July with discounts of up to 60%. That's right, 60%. Special offer with the code THEMOVE. You'll get $15 off any purchase of $150 made on the ecoy.com website. Before we jump back in, what do you got?
It'd be funny to answer.
Yeah, Cavs calling?
FaceTime.
Wait, whoa.
Should I?
Incoming.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, you should.
Put it by the microphone.
kidding
like you
me?
did last time.
All right, just so you know, you're on the show. You're on the show right now, live. So,
Hey, Dom.
are you good?
I'm fine, yeah.
You look good.
Oh, don't, mate.
You almost ruined my birthday.
Put it
close
by
to
the
the- yeah,
microphone.
put it-
so
nobody
we can
wants
hear.
to-
I didn't know.
Yeah,
It's your birthday.
it's my birthday. Yeah.
Happy birthday. How old are you? 70?
Oh,
I'm like 30. I'm in the 30s right now, mid 30s.
Do you remember when I was saying to you, like, why are you still doing this?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay, and
Yeah.
Huh?
no. Yeah. Did you crawl into the bus today or what?
Nah, we're all right. It was
Okay.
horrible. Like, I
Yeah.
like overheated massively.
Yeah.
Like, I was dizzy, vomiting, and but then kind of the boys looked after us, and we knew what we had to do. Like, we were never going easy. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Like, it was horrible, but we knew what we had to do to get in.
Yeah.
We just rode what.
Just did the
you know
math.
what I mean? Like,
All right,
it was,
good. Good. And then you slowly picked up some guys too, but you guys did all the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's guys like, apart from that bad, like, I think there's guys who try to hang on and exploded.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like, you pay for that when the tour.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Shit.
It's just, you know what it's like, the tour, it's like, it's as much, it's just mental, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
suffering.
Yeah.
It's not, it's just suffering. You just gotta, I just think every kilometer you do is 1 kilometer less in it. So if you just keep riding, you'll come to finish. Like, it's just that.
You're mental.
I'm
You're sick. You're still doing it. You got to get us that stage though, and get us all happy.
That's right.
does he know he's live on the show?
Yeah, I told him.
I don't think
right.
you heard that part.
Well, I'll call you later.
All right, mate.
Thanks,
See you
brother.
later. Show going all right.
Yeah,
Ciao,
we
ciao,
miss you.
ciao.
All right, man. Ciao.
Okay. Can we just? I mean, this is what kind of birthday luck is that? I mean, folks, this is why you come.
There's a reason you have me here. Come on.
Well, I have you here for a lot of reasons, but there's a reason you come to the move. Like, that is so random.
He seems in good spirits
Yeah,
after
he
that
does. No, I'm telling
torturous
you.
day.
I mean,
Tony, like-
what other show? I mean, by the way, why was he FaceTiming you?
We FaceTime each other. Like, at least he answers my calls once in a while. I'm like yourself.
I know, but I think that's incredibly dope that he's just like, he did. Well, I don't understand.
After a day like that, he's thinking about George.
Which part of him is like, you know what, I'm gonna FaceTime George? Like, no.
Yeah.
Well, I had just.
I mean, my
texted him.
kids don't even
Texted
say
him.
that right now. Like,
Yeah.
that's wow. And by the way,
If any friends of Lance, if you ever have the audacity to FaceTime, it's like one click screen, poof, right away. FaceTime goes a kick straight to voicemail, whatever that thing is. Don't even try it. So.
unavailable. FaceTime unavailable. Now, I just caught something there from Sir Mark Cavendish.
Sir Mark
and this
Cavendish.
just proves that the king or the queen was right. All right. Now, I know I got a little heat about the queen, but anyways, the king is right to knight him, right? Did you hear the wisdom he dropped on
Absolutely.
everybody, on not just us, but everybody listening? And here it is. Every kilometer you do is one less that you have to do. Whoa.
And he never
That
felt.
was, that was
And he never felt
man.
in risk.
Did you hear that?
No,
Was
I did, and
that
and he's got that mental edge. He's done this
but how
so many
deep was
times.
that?
We might have to
That
ask
was-
him permission for a new T-shirt on that one.
It's like a very sales kind of thing. Like, you know,
Yeah.
every no gets you to a yes kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, by the way, folks, for what it's worth, another public service announcement from the move. Wake up every day with yes. All right. You're going to go out and ask somebody for something.
Does this pertain to you too, or just our
I start every day with believing.
Because today you did not start the day with a yes. You rolled up all cranky and
chill. This is serious. Serious. I wasn't asking for it. I wake up every day fully convinced that everybody I run into is going to say yes to me.
I like it.
And guess what? Every day somebody says no. That's okay. I'm going to say no, right? But you go to bed.
Don't talk to them ever again.
And no. You go. Well, some of them. You go to bed. You hit reset, and you wake up the next day, and you're like, all right, everybody's saying yes today, straight up.
You know what? I give you a hard time, especially on the show. But we did spend 6 hours on the plane yesterday, and we did a lot of heart to heart, face to face, small space, and I'm impressed with your current state of mind, Lance. Really am.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you. It's almost like it's my birthday. Hey, George, guess who is back?
Who's back?
Our friends at The Feed are back to keep us hydrated and fueled throughout the entire Tour de France. Speaking of hydration, big day for hydration.
Mosca.
So here's the thing about The Feed, and I say this every year. The Feed has been with us for a long time.
Yes, they have, big time.
And I kick myself why we didn't, and I've said it many, many times, like, why didn't I think of this idea? This is like... I don't know. This is a perfect idea. I mean, how much do you like eating the same gels and chews on a day like this in the Tour?
You always get sick of it. In fact, when we were racing back in the day, we'd kind of go around and try to negotiate with other teams. Hey, you want to trade this whatever for that? Because we get sick of our stuff.
I do remember that.
That's like a Halloween trading.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's like,
yo, hook me up with that rice cake.
You're like the kid in elementary school. His mom would send him with like some crappy bologna sandwich, like looking around like, yo, you want to trade? You got a Nutella sandwich. You trade? Yeah. Nobody's trading for that ham sandwich, whatever your mom packed. But anyways, The Feed is back. And for those who don't know, it is the largest online marketplace for sports nutrition. You can pretty much buy whatever you want.
Yeah, I love getting the single service of everything. When my feed box gets there, I usually have like 5 different gels, a couple different hydration things, and I just like to keep it fresh and new every day.
The Feed's gonna have pretty great deals for all 21 stages of the tour, starting with their Tour de France pack.
I just got mine, 10 to 11 products. I'm seeing some of my favorites like Pillar Magnesium for sleep, which I've been needing here at this altitude. Scratch Chews, which I'm using to try to keep up with you these days. I'm loving it.
Yeah. So yes, since George isn't a numbers guy, there are 11 products for $21. It's about 50% off, and you get a Feed Musette bag with and a limited tour bottle. Hopefully, it's not these bottles that they get people to vote Lance or George. We're not to everybody to Feed. We're not doing this. I'm not going to be a part of that again. I don't want an ass whooping yet again. I'm not. I love George. George. I want George Hincapie on my butt. Stop.
I love it. Go to thefeed.com, get that Musette bag. And by the way, I'm making LA carry my Musette bag today on the ride because it's my birthday.
I'm not riding today.
All right, we are going to get to the Joe Natoli image for those of you who watch the show. And we have Ventum Trivia. Ventum giving away another NS1 road bike. But before we get to that, let's take a look at tomorrow on the heels of a hot, hilly day. Stage 2.
I think we kind of brushed over it yesterday. Let's pull it up. I mean, this is not a walk in the park. I will say I checked the weather. The temps are coming down. That doesn't mean they're going to be in the 70s or in the high teens if you're thinking Celsius. It's still warm, but not like today. This is not an easy day. Right. And it's close to 200 kilometers. The thing that stands out to me is that little climb right there at the end. I mean, you have 6 categorized climbs. 2 things about the final climb. Not only is there a time bonus at the top, which for me, it seems like, is that even an issue? Like, are we even thinking about that? These guys these days, they do think about it. Mm-hmm. But look at it. It's not that far from the finish. 2K at 10.6%. I mean, not easy. I mean, I don't think we see a field sprint.
And our counterpart over in Europe, Johan, chimed in when I said that I could imagine Bardet hanging onto the jersey for a few days at least, but he said he's not keeping the jersey tomorrow. So
what?
I don't think I don't agree with Johan, and I like to disagree with him
completely. I don't want to disagree with the Svengali. He's wrong about that.
Yeah, I agree. Those guys are so pumped about today's stage that they're going to have extra motivation, few extra watts to keep that jersey for as long as they can, and hopefully for when they get back into France.
Yeah.
Before we continue talking about today's stage, we got to shout out the Americans as well. We had only 3 Americans in the race, all played a factor in today's stage. We had Sean Quinn pulling at the front for Bettiol. We had Nielsen Palace at the end, still in the first group, and Matteo Jorgenson ripping the legs off of the peloton there at the end. So great job for the Americans today.
All right, now we'll get. For those who are new to the show, we have a listener, Joe Natoli. He's in the business, Boiling Point Creative, and he does these Photoshop versions of us every year, multiple times, and they always kill.
Crush.
So Joe sent the first one of 2024.
Oh yeah, I like that.
That, ladies and gentlemen, it's.
I don't remember ever having that suit, but okay, I think that's Lance's suit.
This is why you should watch the show. But if you're not watching, this is a spoof birthday card for George. It says "Happy Birthday, George" from the We Do crew. It's got a cake with like 82 candles on it. And if you look at the body that Joe used. And put George's head. I mean, you'd look like an 80-year-old in those. But look at the kind of the gaudy background. Look at the mirror. Look at all that going on. Look at what are those like your war medals in the back, George? I mean, could
be my watches?
Go
maybe.
ahead.
Some bling bling back there. I don't know what that is.
Joe is the man.
Also, want to point out. Thank you, Joe. Red Bull to me looked really good today. I like that they kind of hung back, didn't do much work. Had the guys that they needed to be up there in that breakaway, and I like it. You know, I don't love seeing these big teams of the favorites doing all this work early on. We all know how hard the Tour de France is. I like what I saw today with my boy Primoz.
I'm with you on that, and I just like I said yesterday,
and I love saying Red Bull. By the way, sorry to interrupt you. I love seeing these big names in the sport of cycling. Yeah. Let's go.
Another small public service announcement for the listener out there, because people put too much into this, I think, right? If you're catching a rider over the course of 5 or 6 hours, and if the cameras catch him for 5 seconds, and that's the only 5 seconds they see, right? That could be some 5 seconds where the rider he could have just blown his nose. You know, he's got a look on his face, and then immediately the commentator's like, ooh.
Oh, yeah, they're in trouble. Right.
Like today, they were, ooh, Remco, he doesn't look good. You know, maybe, right? If they show you for 5 minutes and you're doing and your face hasn't changed, yes, we can say he does not look good. Don't put too much into that. I mean, you could catch a guy at the wrong time. Now, they could be bad, but nobody knows when those cameras are rolling up. You're just there and you look over and like, oh shit, there's a camera.
Yeah, and I put more into them not doing something on a stage like today, because all they got to do is finish in the first group and not lose time. Like 3 weeks long, the race is super hard and hot today. Let's save as much as we can and not lose time.
All right, who wants to win an NS1?
I have one, but I'll take another one.
Ventum.
I have a lot of. Well, I don't have a lot of friends. What am I talking about? I got a couple friends.
Hey, along with Ventum, we've given away a lot of bikes so far, and we're doing it again. All right, it's you can enter daily. It's our Ventum Daily Trivia. Every time you enter, your name goes into that drawing, which we'll do at the end of the tour. The first question is: outside of France, name 5 other countries the tour has started in. Outside of France, name 5 other countries where the tour has started from. You can take the time and look up
Germany,
the answer.
England. Wait, we're not supposed to. Oh shoot!
Yeah,
I gave you all a little head start. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gave them a couple of them.
Name 3 countries.
Go to ventumracing.com/themove.
I want to make it easy. I want people to get an NS1.
I know.
Just checking the weather, right? Today's high is showing was 96 degrees Fahrenheit. It's scalding. Tomorrow, high of 83, low of 68. So this is good. These guys are going to think. I mean, there may be guys with arm warmers. They're going to be thanking every god they've ever heard of for 13 degrees cooler tomorrow.
Here's a quick email, and this is perfect timing on the heels of what we were discussing earlier. Paul from Bristol, Virginia writes, he's written before, Cav was obviously sick today with the heat. Can his team doctor administer an IV to help him replace fluids, or is that banned?
That's banned. Any kind of intravenous supplements, totally banned.
Wow.
Well, yes. And to be a little more specific, the sport of cycling has years ago implemented a policy called the no needle policy, right? Which means no. And I know what y'all are thinking. Okay. I know this is, I'm treading on thin ice with almost everybody listening, but nonetheless, I don't care. It's called the no needle policy, and you cannot have any, whether it's tendonitis in your knee and you need a cortisone, that is not allowed. Whether it is a liquid IV to rehydrate, not allowed. Now,
you might be able to get a cortisone injection with a TUE, like a doctor prescribes it for an injury like that. That's the only way.
TBD on that one. Now, having said all of this, I'm about to fall through the thin ice. This is crazy, right? I'm going to remind everybody, this is the hardest sporting event in the world, right? There's 200 guys out there that are riding around for the first time this year in 100-degree temperatures, and you cannot drink enough in the race. I'm going to go back to what I just said. It is the hardest sporting event in the world. To expect them to we now have, 2 weeks and 6 days left. This thing just started. You're going to expect 200 human beings to start a race like this. Again, the hardest event in the world on potentially chronic dehydration. That is not healthy. It is not. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the UCI says. I just don't care. It's inhumane. Yeah. So you can have all these feel-good, warm and fuzzy policies, but when you're going to expose 200 humans to the hardest sporting event in the world with potentially chronic dehydration, no. There has to be another way. I don't agree. And I don't care. I will factor in every bit of my history and own every bit of it. That is not the right decision.
Yeah, you'll see like at the end of an Ironman, like IV stations, right? For
of
people,
course,
they're passing out, giving IV. But just a little,
people go out and party and get banged up.
Well, no, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. I don't know how it is around the rest of the world. I can tell you in Austin, Texas, there are these storefronts popping up everywhere and mobile buses to hydrate people from a night of drinking.
Right. And
it's commonplace.
And that is not, and let me restate, and I hope I didn't say, let me just say it one more time, the hardest sporting event in the world. There's nothing like it.
So Bob Youngles, I just asked him, he lost only one kilo today, so 2.5 pounds, roughly 2.2 pounds. And he had 16 bottles throughout the stage. They were on the bike today for 6.5 hours. Right. I mean, that's like a Milan, San Remo, Paris, Roubaix time on a bike in that heat. So 16 bottles.
And certain people, AKA yours truly, sweat more than others. George, if you and I go out for a ride, we could be riding the exact same exertion. I'm sweating 3 times as much as you. So I am losing 3 times as much as you. Not everybody is the same here. It's not a perfect science. Nonetheless, that's dehydration, and that is not healthy.
No.
Okay. Well, yeah, and you guys know how I feel about this, right?
We do.
Let's wait.
JB's like,
no. Well, I'll save these other questions for later. Write to us, themove@wedo.team. Some other important things here, just so people understand what's going on. You can catch this show on your Peacock app, right? So that's a convenient way to do it. And if you're not a subscriber, check it out. It's pretty handy. And La Movida starts today. JB Squared starts today. Those of you who love Johan, which is pretty much everybody.
Yes.
I turn him loose.
Not everybody, but almost everybody.
And if you are not familiar with the show Outcomes, that's Johan Bardet and Spencer Martin going through sports betting for tomorrow, which is really interesting. So it kind of helps you predict, the favorites and some long shots to look for.
Yep.
Even if you're not into sports betting, it's an incredible show to listen to, and it's now lives in the Move feed,
the main feed, and you couldn't get 2 better guys that know. If you do want to lay some dough down, I mean, you'd be well served to listen to these 2.
Yeah, I wonder who made some money today. Probably not very many people, or anybody for that matter.
That's a great. In fact, I know Johan's listening.
Our gurus didn't have them.
That would be but that's the fun thing about. They picked. I forget his name, but it's 3,000 to 1. Somebody out there picked Romain Bardet. I mean, if I had to guess, Bardet. If Pogacar's 200 to 1 and whoever they picked was 3,000 to 1, you got to imagine Bardet was probably 1,200 to 1. I'm guessing.
And they had picked Van Aert, who won the field sprint. But and anyhow, it's a great show.
Yep.
And it all lives in the Move feed. We're trying to simplify things for a lot of you. Just letting you know. Okay?
Love that.
Email themove@wedo.team.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow. By the way, we will not be on Peacock tomorrow, but we are there today. And to your point, JB, about Peacock, the Olympics are coming up. Like, and I nerd out on the Olympics. I do.
Yeah.
Like swimming, like I'm gonna see everything.
All the track and field trials.
I take
So
that
good.
back. I want to see every swimming event except breaststroke. I hate breaststroke. George is like, "What's that?" Do you know what that one is, George?
I do.
No, you don't. But you're gonna if you're a sports fan or a fan of the Olympics, they got it so that you can watch. In the old days, you're just like, well, this is what they're serving up. We're gonna watch synchronized swimming tonight. You don't have to do that anymore.
You can watch whatever you want.
You can watch whatever you want. So head on over to Peacock, download the app, and then and oh, by the way, even if you're not watching our show because you already watched it, hit play so that they think you're watching it. Thanks for tuning in. See y'all tomorrow.